Having a wild story is important when you're trying to break into the rap game. Fans don't want to hear street bars from dudes who grew up in the suburbs, so rappers lie about they come up for clout. Today, we're breaking down the biggest rappers who lied about their past and ended up getting exposed. Back in 2020, a drill rapper from Staten Island named CJ blew up off the track Whoopty. In the video, him and his homies were rocking red bandanas, and fans thought he was repping the Bloodhound Brims. Whoopty is a greeting that the Brims started, but CJ claimed he invented the phrase and said he was going to trademark it so no one else can make money off of it. This led to a dude named LeBrim making a phone call from prison and calling CJ out. LeBrim was hit with a 30-year sentence back in 2019 for his connection to the Bloodhound Brims, but he didn't appreciate CJ for jacking the phrase. On the call, he said,
"So I'm going to take a moment to set the record straight for y'all. I see there's a lot of controversy over this Whoopty thing. So first and foremost, CJ made a hot song, but the content that he used is not his content. So his foundation is based off a lie. He's not Whoopty. He don't know nothing about Whoopty. He just seen a fly splash and he jacked it, which is a smart move, but in life you gotta show respect and you can't live a lie. Now you jacking something that they got dudes in jail for. They gave me 30 years for a lifestyle full of allegations of a lifestyle that you talking about that you never lived."
Other drill rappers like 22G's also called out CJ for being an industry plant. CJ clapped back with a freestyle and said, "First things first, I'm his squad Brim, and if you got a problem with it, you can suck my niggas wanna kill me, cause I probably crazy how a called my brother done turned snitch." His squad Brims are another blood set, but it's not clear if CJ is actually affiliated with them. His uncle also works at the label he signed to, which makes it look like the industry plant rumors are true. If CJ just showed respect to the dudes who came up with Whoopty, there wouldn't be an issue. But instead he lied about where it came from and got aired out by a bunch of dudes who are really street certified. In 2015, a skinny white kid from Ohio named Slim Jesus dropped a track called Drill Time. It sounded like something straight out of Chicago, with Slim dropping bars like, "I f with savages, you a f boy you can't hang. You can find me posted up on Frank Block with my f***ing gang. You ain't really bout shit, stay out my spot, don't speak my name. Or I'll pull up on your block at night, wearing all black, and let that 40 bang." The track went viral, and Slim Jesus was getting talked about everywhere online. Some people thought it was all a joke, but others said he was really about that life. But a month after Drill Time came out, Slim talked to DJ Vlad and told him it was all cap. In the interview, he said,
"For the most part on the street shit, like, I got homies that are in that shit, and I know people who are, and people around me. I mean, I'm not out here catching bodies and shit, obviously."
Slim says he was rapping about guns and killing people because he thought it was cool and would get him attention. After he admitted he was just rapping for clout, the game said, "I saw Slim Jesus, I thought he was cool. Then I seen the other shit when he was like, I don't really do this. It's too late. You got people who really doing it that are offended." Slim had some threats sent to him from dudes really living that life, but luckily, nothing serious ever went down. Slim is still dropping music, but his last single barely racked up 30K streams on Spotify. He went viral for a few days back in 2015, but it looks like everyone moved on after he admitted to capping. 21 Savage hasn't been in the game that long, but he was already on his way to becoming an Atlanta legend. He's been repping Zone 6 his whole career and talking about his wild come up in the streets. That's why the whole world was shocked when news broke that 21 was actually from London. In 2019, 21 was arrested by ICE for being in the US illegally. A rep from ICE told CNN his whole public persona is false. He actually came to the US from the UK as a teen and overstayed his welcome. The situation isn't really that simple though. 21 moved to Atlanta legally with his mom when he was 7 years old. He went back to the UK for a month when he was 12, and when he came back to Atlanta, his visa allegedly expired. 21 told ABC News that he never really tried to hide his past, but he kept it low-key because he didn't want to get deported. He said, "I didn't even know what a visa was. I went in the first grade here, so I don't really remember too much. I remember like my grandma's house, and that's probably about it. I didn't really do much here. I've been in Atlanta probably 20 years, 19 years. I'm from Atlanta. In my eyes, I wasn't trying to hide it. But I didn't want to get deported, so I wasn't going to just say, I wasn't born here, world." 21's case is still pending right now, but hopefully he gets the situation sorted out soon. It's clear that Atlanta is home to him, and he's giving back more to his community than pretty much any other rapper in the game. 6ix9ine popped off with the track Gummo in 2017 and acted like he had been gangbanging his whole life. On the hook, he said, "I'm on some robbing shit, take the do the dash in the whip, count the cash in the whip. I pull up with a stick, I let that shit hit. And in the video for the track, he had a bunch of dudes from the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. One of the Bloods in the video was a dude named Shotty, who ended up becoming 6ix9ine's manager and introduced him to other dudes in the gang. Before the Gummo video, 6ix9ine never repped the gang. He was from the area and knew some dudes, but never actually joined the set. After he linked up with Shotty and the other 9 Treys, 6ix9ine allegedly got involved with all kinds of street activities like pushing weight, attempted murders, and more. But at the same time, he was blowing up in the rap game like crazy and was starting beef with tons of people in the industry. Everyone knows that 6ix9ine eventually flipped on the 9 Trey Bloods and got his manager and ex-homies locked up. But Fat Joe claims that 6ix9ine was never in the streets anyways. Back in May, Joe went on the Expert Opinion podcast and said 6ix9ine is a sucker. He's a sucker, This dude here, this type of shit this doing, I'm convinced he wanna die. I don't wish it on him or nothing like that, but I'm convinced he's miserable in his body. He can't look in the mirror. Joe claims that back in 2018, he tried to kick some game to 6ix9ine and told him to be careful how he was moving in the streets. According to him, 6ix9ine said it was all an act and he wasn't actually out there committing crimes. 6ix9ine clapped back and said it was all cap, but Fat Joe is a New York legend and 6ix9ine is known as the biggest rat in hip hop, so most fans are believing Joe's side of the story. Rick Ross blew up back in the 2000s off of tracks like Hustlin'. He built up his image as a Scarface type dude who moved weight and ran the city. He even named himself after the legendary drug kingpin Freeway Ricky Ross. But in 2008, a website called The Smoking Gun posted a picture of Rick Ross wearing a prison guard uniform. At first he denied that the picture was him. He even called out The Smoking Gun in a freestyle and said, "I'm the boss and I'm laughing at your blogs. I'm the glue in the streets, meaning I can get you stuck. The world knows where the fuck I'm from, sell rock, 20 chains, and I never lost one. Heavy on the block, never on the net." Ross told All Hip Hop, "Online hackers put my face when I was a teenager in high school on other people's body. If this shit was real, don't you think they would have more specifics, like dates and everything?" But more evidence came out later, and Ross coped to working as a CO. He told Don Diva magazine, "Yes, it's me. I never tried to hide my past. I never ratted on a I never prosecuted a I never locked up a That's first and foremost. When I'm making my music and I'm talking about blow, it's because I did it. When I say that I'm rich off cocaine, it's because I did it." A lot of people thought the news would be a huge hit on his career, but Ross made it through the situation without losing too much respect. He's still selling records about pushing weight, so obviously his fans weren't too pressed about the lying. Tyga has been in the rap game since he dropped his debut mixtape back in 2007. His whole career, he claimed that he came up in Compton, but in 2012, an unaired pilot for a show on MTV leaked, and Tyga was caught in a lie. Footage from a game show called Busta started going around online, and in the clip, Tyga claimed that he actually grew up in the Valley and had a comfortable life. He said, "Grew up not too tough, parents had a Range Rover, doing it big, not too much hard, but I'm still street." Tyga hopped on Twitter to defend himself and said, "When you're 14 and ambitious, you don't give a fuck about anything. Scripted TV, isn't that what we all live for? Ha 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 ha." And then in an interview on Power 106's Big Boy's Neighborhood, he said, "The intro beginning was scripted. I never grew up in the Valley. I lived in Compton/Gardena my whole life." According to Tyga, he was just young and ready to do whatever it took to break into the industry. He said, "I'm young, I'm ambitious, I don't care. I'm getting a check for this. I'm about to be on TV. At this point in my career, I'm at a point where I work so hard, and for people to try and throw negative stuff, it's just retarded." The video didn't really hurt Tyga's career, but fans definitely looked at him differently after it came out.